I have a feeling
Yeah.
that he did not do very well in China.
This could be wrong. You guys are going to tell us that we're bad and we don't know, and that's okay. We're still learning.
What?
Yes.
That's insane.
So this is one of your new 2-drops. This card is actually number 1 on my list. I think this card is crazy. Hello and welcome back to the 3rd episode
of this podcast.
Of this podcast.
That we haven't named yet.
Yeah, our Riftbound podcast. It's called the TCG Riftbound podcast on Spotify and Apple, or not Apple, Amazon.
I'm good with that name. Why didn't we come up with that name earlier?
Yeah, I don't know.
TCG
It's
Riftbound
crazy.
podcast.
Yeah.
The TCG Riftbound podcast, which is what I did. So it worked out. I'm Terry, your host. This is Isaac and Cabin. We are here today. We were really excited to actually get to come into the studio, shoot a podcast where it's not just us complaining for an hour straight about everything that Riot is doing wrong.
Yeah.
So pretty polarizing response. Thank you guys so much for reaching out.
Pretty polarizing. Thanks.
No, I hope that everybody realizes, the only reason that we're being as critical as we are is because we care about the game and we want the game to succeed.
Yeah.
And I think that, as we've said time and time again, that Riot has the means and they have this incredible opportunity they've been given with this card game.
Yeah.
And so we want to see it thrive. We want to see the community grow. We want to see their competitive scene become esports in card games, right? Like we want to see that kind of stuff. They have the power to make that stuff happen. And so that is why we are as critical as we are. It's not because we hate Riot or we hate Riftbound. We wouldn't be doing content if we did that. So thank you for the feedback, though.
Yeah, huge shout out to the people that noticed that and appreciated that.
And huge shout out to the people who I really appreciate this, who watch the podcast and make a comment about probably, I'm assuming 10, 20 minutes into the podcast. And then they said, okay, just listen to the whole thing. I think you guys are right on some of these points. And and so I'm sure they might refute, which is totally fine. Refute with things that we say. That's obviously, that's how you have a discussion.
Yeah.
But, that you actually willingly listen to the rest and realize that we weren't just hating on it. We're trying to help people recognize issues and hopefully eventually Riot to recognize issues.
And if you don't like that kind of stuff, our podcast definitely is going to switch around, be happy, be sad, be angry. It could be whatever, depending on how we're feeling. Hopefully we're moving away from the angry and upset side of things into more excited type of stuff. But if it's not your cup of tea, that's all right. You don't have to.
So we do content for another game called Grand Archive, and we just recorded the podcast for that one.
Yeah.
And they just had a bunch of really exciting news. It was just us talking about how great they were for an hour basically. And I can't wait till we do that with Riftbound one day.
Yeah. That's the goal.
But we will talk about what doesn't feel right to us. What because we're here to try to be transparent with all the content that we do. So
and today we get to talk about Spiritforged, which is exciting.
Which we have not talked about. Honestly, we haven't even looked at. So
I barely looked at it.
I was really trying to not. I was really trying to stay in that first set. But unfortunately, not many people are. And so with that, I kind of, and we play another game professionally and we travel for it. And that's kind of taking up the rest of the season for us. Traveling to London at the end of the month, focusing on that event. So we don't have a lot of Origins events. I mean, we're not really playing it on. I might go to the 25K, which is the last week of January in Houston. We'll see, though. I don't know if I'm going to want to play this set anymore.
Yeah.
I am not going to be there.
Yeah.
Just a really quick introduction as well about who we are, just because this is our 3rd episode, so a lot of new viewers for sure. So I'm Cabin. I have played TCGs for 20 years or something like that. I don't know.
Yeah.
Long time.
Yeah.
And I got 11th at Houston. That's my big mark on the game so far. I got top 8 in one of the Orlando events as well. So have some results so far. Have had incredible success in our other game that we play and do content for, Grand Archive. Have been a pro player of TCGs for a few years now.
Yeah.
And really excited to be here with Riftbound. Yeah.
Should I do my?
Yeah. Why not?
Yeah, go ahead.
You might as well. Let them know.
I am a person that plays card games now because of these two. Played Grand Archive a lot. Won big events there. You won multiple of those events as well. We all went to Worlds for that game. I am playing this game pretty casually, but stay up to date on stuff because well, we're doing content for it. So
Sure.
And your name is Isaac.
And my name is Isaac, which we did do in the beginning of the game.
true,
so I'm not too worried about that.
yeah. And I'm Terry. Play a lot of card games. Been playing card games my entire life. Started playing Magic in the 90s. Probably a lot of you weren't even born when I started playing Magic. That's okay. But the ones that were, great time to play cards. Played competitive now for, a long time. But the last few years is where we went and started playing professionally, making this pretty much what we do. Travel the world regularly, make our way to a ton of events. Just in the last few months, I actually committed to this life full time and left my gig. I kind of started moving that way once I lost in the finals of our game that we play in the World Championships. Kind of got a fire under me and wanted to keep playing, wanted to play more and be able to commit more time, because I think that's a big thing. I think it's a big difference in card games, especially games that are very skill-based, which we're starting to see. I think, any card game, good players are going to rise to the top, right? They're going to be playing more efficiently. Mm-hmm. But I think that there is a pretty incredible ceiling in Riftbound.
Yeah.
And the difference in players is actually pretty huge. And with that in mind, I think the more time and effort you put into this game, it is going to pay off. Granted, there obviously is going to be RNG. It's a card game. But I think there is a good reason to put in the time.
Well, it's similar to League. You know, like if you play League and you're just starting out, you don't know what a lot of the other champions do and stuff. You're going to go up to fight someone. They're going to pull out a move that you had no idea they had, and you're going to lose. Yeah. And that's like the same in Riftbound. If you just go to fight things and like you're not playing around what interaction they might have, you're just going to get blown out and like lose that fight, So it definitely is like time and experience always pays off.
There's a lot of strategy.
You do.
Yeah. So that all being said, that's who we are. We do this for a living. We're excited to start doing Riftbound content, and really do hope to see this game correct the things that they've done wrong and grow. And we think they've done a lot of things right. I think the game's great, but there is definitely some things that we're hoping as players that like to add this game to our repertoire of games that we travel and play and invest our time and effort into. So now that you guys know who we are,
let's talk about some exciting stuff.
Yes, we're gonna dive into Spiritforged a little bit today. So those of you who don't know much, or maybe those of you who do, we'd love to hear what you guys think about some of the things we're saying. We could be completely wrong. These are our first kind of feelings on a lot of these cards. So
I'm also excited. Well, I'm excited for the cards in this, obviously, this coming set.
Yeah.
But I really have not looked at a lot of them. Oh, shoot, what was I going to say about that, though? For them to do something.
Oh, don't know.
Oh, just say what your favorite card from Spiritforged is.
Oh, yeah. Let us we want to look at some more cards and hear about it. So if you want to tell us cards you're excited about and why.
Of cards and things like that.
Let us know.
Yeah.
Because we're just diving in right now.
Yeah.
So why don't you tell us about a legend you're excited about?
Yeah, so there's two legends I want to talk about. One's going to be quicker than the other. So I'll start with the quicker one, which is Fiora.
Okay.
Grand Duelist, which is the body and whatever yellow is.
Order.
When one of your units becomes mighty, you may exhaust me to channel one rune exhausted. So I actually thought this was like kind of dumb, but then I realized this is just like insane, isn't it? 'Cause my only thought was, 4 cost to come 5 cost because of buff counter. But no, it's probably just even when you use anything, just gives a +3 until the end of turn. It becomes mighty, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
So like you make anything like there's a pump one that does like 7 or something like that, and there's the punch
Primal
first.
Strength.
Yeah, punch first is like +5 in itself, right?
I mean, even because she's
yellow or yellow.
Yeah. So Call to Glory
too.
Yeah. Which is just 3. Or it can be free if you move a buff counter.
Yeah.
There's a
Set
lot
brawler.
of
Like him alone, every turn being able to just pump himself.
Is Lee Sin if orange?
Yeah,
body, and then
there is an orange.
Is he a 4 cost or is he a 5 cost?
No, the one that you're thinking about is green.
Oh, dang.
Yeah,
that one.
But no, Set Brawler is a fantastic example because you literally pay 5, recycle 1, put it in, gains the buff, becomes mighty, unrecycle.
Yeah.
Very
Yeah,
strong.
I just realized how easily you can ramp with that, and it's to me it was in a way in some cases it can be similar to how Kaisa has been played in the past, where you recycling you rest her to recycle instead of paying a power. But in this way, it's like if you're using something that is specifically buffing something to a mighty, then it kind of like you paid one for power for that.
Super cool. Kind of same concept, a way to like stay ahead on like resources, which is what Kaisa does so well, right?
Yeah.
So I don't know. It was just cool. I just really like that. It was like really simple, really easy, and like I think actually will be stronger than I think people are like paying attention to. I think people might be ignoring it too much. I don't know. Maybe people are all talking about how good
after we talk about all these cards,
Yeah.
I'm going to give you guys, because I pulled it up because I'm starting to look into it a little bit more.
Yeah.
You guys have no idea. The percentages of legends that have made the top 8 in the first weeks of China's city.
Yeah.
What are they called?
City
They're
games?
called, no, they're called
Challenges?
challenges, right? City challenges, or
I think so. China's big events.
China's big bets. They are best of ones, which is something to remember. But we're going to talk about that after all of this. Yeah.
And then the other legend I want to talk about for a little bit and more in depth, which is Azir, which is order and calm is green.
Look at you go.
Which is your sand soldiers have weapon master, where when they enter the field, you can attach a equipment to them for 1 power less, and then it has all your sand soldiers have weapon master, and then you can pay 1 and rest it to play a 2 might sand soldier unit token to your base. Use only if you've played an equipment this turn. So then of course the first thing I did was look at all the cheap equipment.
And sand soldiers have temporary, right? Or no?
I do not know.
Oh, I have to look that up.
Yeah.
Wait, it plays it to your base. That would be silly.
So yeah, so no,
I don't think. I think there's a 2 might unit.
yeah, I think they're just a 2 might.
2 might token.
2 might.
And you only pay 1 for it?
Yes, but you have to but you have to play an equipment
that
this
turn. So you can't just like do it like Victor
Okay,
does.
I was like,
Yeah.
wait, that's just literally Power Corrupt Victor. Okay,
No.
gotcha.
Nope. You have to like combo. You have to.
Yeah.
What do they call it? Legion.
That's neat though, because you're playing a unit, a strong unit for you to put that equipment on. That's pretty neat.
I'm trying to find the token to see if they showed it off yet. But
and they have weapon masters. So
Yeah.
you get a oh wow.
So
okay,
yeah,
He's cool.
So the first thing I looked up was cheap equipment.
Yeah.
So there's Doran's Shield, which is a 1 cost. That's it. And so because I was like turn 1, can't get a soldier out turn 1.
Does
So
it give like 1 or 2 might? Or
it's
something?
equip 1 power, and then it has tank and plus 1 might.
Yeah. Okay. Gives tank.
So making a 3 because you'll play this for 1.
Yeah.
You'll make a sand soldier for 1. It has weapon master, so you can equip it right away, and for free. And then it'll give a plus 1 might, and then also has tanks. And then you have a 3 might 2 cost on turn 1.
which is really good, because if that unit dies, you still have your equipment on board.
Yeah.
Which is really, really, really relevant.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then the other 1 cost, and that's in calm. This is in order, which is a 1 cost Eye of the Herald, which I think is really cool. And that's I like that. Which is 1 power to equip, because as 0 might. But when I move, play a recruit unit token here.
Oh, that's nasty.
Yeah,
that's
super
so
cool.
So
good.
I like that a lot. So those 2 are the 1 cost ones. There's a couple of 2 cost ones that are decent. I think that's the only 1 cost ones for Calm and Body. And then there's like the 2 cost is a Brutalizer, which is a 2 cost plus 1 might. And then if this is attached to me this turn, I have plus 2 might. Not the greatest with the Sand Soldiers, because when they come in, it'll come in exhausted or whatever.
Yeah.
And so it just doesn't quite work like that. But there's, of course, other things. And as the late game gets later on, it'll become even better to get even more, there's like BF Sword.
Right. And this is like a yellow-blue, correct? That's
Yellow-green.
Sorry,
green,
I meant to say yellow-green.
Yeah.
Which is cool. We're starting to see, I think yellow must be, I mean, it is. We know this, the token color, right?
Yeah.
Because of all the cards that help create.
Yeah.
But this is a pretty cool, we haven't had this color combination yet,
Leona.
have we? Oh, right, Leona.
Which is honestly stronger
Dude,
than
I think
people
Leona
think.
is actually
Yeah.
kind of nuts. Moving into the set, I
Yeah.
think she gets a lot of good stuff. Maybe it's just the way the meta kind of starts to form. But yeah,
Yeah.
green yellow is a super cool combo.
I'm excited for this. There's a couple other equipment cards, which, I mean, there's way more expensive, but so I won't really talk about them too much. But I think...
How do you think this deck like plays? Like, what do you think is the goal? Do you think we're just kind of board tempoing? Like, these things slowly get bigger because you can continuously
attached to them.
that your mate. Like your soldiers start out like small, but as we play more and more equipment, it's going to get bigger and bigger and bigger.
I think it's almost like a weird swarm. Is the best I can say. I think you can play a bunch of small things.
Yeah.
And I haven't looked at other units that might have stuff like Weaponsmith or like other. So if there's, I think I'm there's got to be, because something in column and or body that has something that works with that. And also, I'll be honest, I haven't even looked at what Azir champion unit does.
That's crazy.
I kind of forgot. I just looked at the legend. I was like, oh, look at the legend can, can do this thing. But maybe I should look at the champion here.
Yeah, I'm actually curious too because I don't know exactly what Azir does.
I think I might have screenshotted it actually.
Yeah, because he's seen.
Oh wait, no, I did not.
So
yeah, I'm trying to view it, but I'll get to it eventually.
Yeah. That's right. You can just fast forward through all of this in editing.
It shouldn't take long, especially if I just type in the Azir correctly instead of typing it incorrectly 3 times. Oh, you already have it? I already just pulled it up too.
Okay.
Yeah, there's 2 because there's 2 different ones.
No, it's just alt art.
Oh, alt art. No, well, there's yellow and green.
Oh, yeah.
So Azir is a 6 cost, 6 energy, 1 power, 1 column power, and then 6 might, which is you can pay 1 power and choose for an action and then choose a unit you control, move me to its location, and it's to my original location. If it's an equipment, if it's equipped, sorry, you may attach one of its equipment to me, use only once per turn.
This is something new that we're seeing, a champion unit that has an action on them.
Yeah.
That's very cool.
So you can swap with one of your soldiers that might be dying
and take their equipment.
And so you have this, it's 6 might, so it's probably gonna get like at least 7, 8 might, maybe more, and you just throw it up into the field.
That is pretty cool. It makes it really awkward to trade into the sand soldiers.
And then the other one, which is a 4 energy, 4 might, accelerate, pay 1, so Kaisa kind of thing, right? And then when I attack, you may move any number of your token units to this battlefield.
Wow, that's pretty cool.
So if you just made one this turn, then you can get everything to move up with him.
Cool.
And you can choose whether or not to accelerate that out or not, or just have it sitting there.
Be really good for when you're dropping those expensive equipment later in the game, and just like getting to basically accelerate those big boys.
Yeah. Like BF Sword is a 4 cost, 4 energy, 3 might. I think that's it. Equip 1 power.
Yeah.
So if you made a sand soldier that turn, that's a 5 might unit right there. And then you also have this Azir they played on the previous turn even, and then you can move it all up for 9 might. That's pretty cool.
That is cool. I mean, that's sweet.
Yeah.
Those are really, really cool legends. I think, do you think that either one of them are gonna make their way into the top side of the meta, or do you feel like they're more I guess we don't know all the support. So it's hard to say based solely off of their abilities and what they're doing, because we don't know. And you guys have no idea because you haven't looked at the meta. I have a little bit.
Well, Azir's spell also, by the way, is a 6 cost, 6 energy, 1 power, and either. And it's play a sand soldier unit token for each equipment you control, and then ready 2 of them.
Oh dang! And they all have weapon master.
Yeah, they all have weapon master. So all the
ready 2 is insane.
Yeah. So even if you don't have that Azir out, you have this. You had a bunch of equipment from early on in the game because everything's been dying, and then you go play this. I definitely have some things to fight board if I need to, or if I have that 0 out as well, then I can move them. Jeez, I keep hitting this thing. Move everything up to the battlefield, which
that's really cool.
So
that's a really cool combo.
Yeah,
I'd have to see more of the yellow equipment. I haven't really looked at them.
Yeah,
but I feel like the pool might just be a little too small for him right now.
I think there is not enough
gear,
equipment. Yeah, I agree, because there's the 2 I mentioned. There's the BF Sword. There's like Steric's Gauge, which is an expensively cost. Like it's
you
really
wouldn't run it in that deck either.
Yeah. And then maybe one more, but it's just there definitely is one more.
I guess in a 40 card deck, if you play 3 of all,
sure,
like 3 of the Doran Shield, 3 of the Herald, 3 of the BF Sword. That's 9 cards.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
Maybe it's not bad.
You should see at least like 2, 3 probably in your first few turns.
It's really cool that you have Doran Shield with tank on the Sand Soldiers if you're moving up with the Azir.
Yeah.
Because then the damage has to go to that first. And
it's pretty cool.
Yeah.
I like that a lot. Yeah, I think there's a lot of synergy there from the stuff you're saying. It sounds like a cool way to play equipment.
Mm-hmm.
We're not talking about Ornn, I don't think, or you're not talking about
I'm
Ornn,
not talking about Ornn.
And I'm not either, but I know that
obviously he's the equipment boy.
Yeah. But still, this is like a cool, different way to use the equipment that kind of... I think equipment is here to stay. I think equipment, I guess...
Equipment's a big...
Let's talk about that for a second. Yeah, I think equipment in general, just the fact that you're playing these cards that, unless they have temporary or something where they are going to leave, they come on out, you use them to fight early, your stuff dies, they just go back to to your base, to your gear.
Yeah.
And you're able to continuously use these bad boys.
And we have seen so many cards be able to cheat them onto themselves and stuff. It'd be a lot different if there were only a couple of cards that did that or something. But the amount of cards that we have that are able to, well, I'm going to talk about Jax, which is literally his legend ability is just to move equipment around, basically. And so, like, I think that is going to help equipment a lot. It's not like you're going to have to use a lot of tempo to keep reusing them, basically.
And I think that they have to be kind of careful with equipment. I think that expensive equipment is going to be more balanced. I think that cheap equipment is like almost, they have to be very careful because if they make it too powerful, being able to just recur these really, really cheap.
I mean, literally A0, right? Like just being like 2-drop equipment, 2-drop equipment, 2-drop equipment, 2-drop equipment, 2-drop equipment, 6 cost, bam, you're dead. You know,
exactly.
Like,
so they have to be very careful.
For this spell.
And especially like when we get to, like, I'm going to talk about Draven today. They have to be very careful in those colors. I mean, we have Annie, we have Jinx, we have Draven, all in these super aggressive colors that if you're just giving them stuff to make their little homies stronger, it gets tough because they're already aggressive. They're already hard to deal with in a lot of situations. So giving them the kind of recursion that happens, because like these decks, right? This game is so tempo based. Like tempo is everything in this game. Cards like Fight or Flight are basically removal spells half the time in decks like Annie, right? So like the amount of tempo that like these allow you to keep when you're playing like little guys that aren't doing anything is pretty sweet, because now all those 2-drops that you randomly are drawing, like I think that's one of the biggest downsides of playing Annie right now is like after your initial few turns, if you just keep drawing your 2-drops and your sneaky deckhands and stuff, you're like, well, I guess hopefully things like this would actually give them a little bit of a, okay, well, I have more fodder for my equipment that I'm putting on this stuff, right? And maybe it doesn't make as much sense in like Annie or Jinx, but what I think that the concept of it is something that can go across a lot of different legends.
It's also important to note there are already kill all gear cards. Thermal Beam from Origins. Not very played in Origins, but I think much more relevant right now. So just something that like they already have balance checks for. An Azir gear spawn deck, you know, like which granted Azir's in columns, so they can defy and wind wall and all that.
They're gonna need the wind walls. That's like Ornn too. They're gonna. I think wind wall is gonna become like in those type of decks like a 3 of.
There's also a green counter that has it counters something that's targeting a gear or unit, which is really cool.
Can't stop Thermal Beam, but it can stop a lot of things. Because there is just a lot more gear removal with this set, which is good. I think there needs to be.
There is.
Take that, Aurora. There's also a guy that steals gear.
I saw
that card's sick. I can't think of its name. Someone's gonna say it in here.
It's orange. I think it
is orange. It's a forward cost.
It's Akshan.
It's Akshan?
Oh,
that's sick.
So it's a 4 cost, 4 might, no power. Champion unit. Weapon master. So you can equip something to him, which is really good. Like 4/4 with Weapon Master is already like good,
so good.
You know, like, and then you may pay 2 orange
body.
You may pay 2 body as an additional cost to play me. When you play me, if you paid the additional cost, move an enemy gear to your base. You control it until I leave the board. If it's an equipment, attach it to me, which is separate from its Weapon Master.
So you get 2 triggers.
Play this Akshan for 4 and get 2 equipments onto it, one of them being your opponent's. Now it is just a temporary steal. If they do deal with Akshan, it's gone, but there is some gear that gives like deflect and stuff, and so you could try to make this like a really big issue for your opponent to deal with and stuff. So very cool.
Could be a cool like mirror breaker in Aurora. Siding these in and just stealing your opponent's Auroras.
That'd be crazy.
Like it's probably bad, but that would be so fun. That'd be so wild.
Weapon Master seems like really good.
Weapon Master. That's what I'm saying. Like Azir getting a potential 2 cost 3 might unit that if they kill it with a Hextech Ray or something, you still have that equipment around. Like that is so key. Like
I just looked up Weapon Master and how many things have it. It's almost all in orange.
There's
there's 2 red, entirely Ornn. which is a blue, and then a bunch of orange cards, and then 1 purple card.
Yeah.
So you would not. There's no weapon master for Calm. Justice. What's yellow?
Oh, chaos. Or no, sorry, order.
Order.
Gosh, the opposite of chaos. Yeah, I mean, but like that is something important to note. Is like I think it's very good that they're not giving a lot of like Fury cards, Weapon Master and stuff, right? Because then it could be a really big problem in decks like Jinx and everything. Yeah. So, I have a hope that it'll be very balanced, but we'll see because we don't know what the meta looks like. So, but also like we said in last week's podcast, Chinese meta only means so much. You know, like we're gonna see a different meta when
things are gonna change a lot once it makes its way over here.
Are you good with your spoilers?
Yeah, I'm all good. I'm just reading more cards now.
I'm gonna talk about Jax.
Yeah.
So Jax, just personally, is one of my favorite League of Legends champions. I mained Jax and Lock Screen Shaco.
Yeah. Classic. It's also Lock Screen Jax, just saying.
It is also Lock Screen Jax. Well, I play him a little bit more loose camera because you have to for his jumps sometimes.
Yeah. Whoa, loose camera? Whoa, that's crazy. I've never heard that term before. That's a new term. And hey, you guys, do you play loose camera or lock screen in League of Legends?
Anyways.
Oh man, this dude's about to get destroyed in the comments.
Bring it on. Which is what Jax says.
Yeah, true.
So Jax Legend is Calm and Body. So Master Yi colors, which obviously has already seen a lot of competitive play. Very different effect than Master Yi though. You can pay 1 energy and tap Jax. This is a legend to attach a detached equipment you control to a unit you control. So instead of most equipment is costing 1 power and sometimes more, like a power and an energy or something. Instead of doing that, you can just pay 1 energy. So again, kind of similar to Kaisa, where instead of deramping to do what your deck's trying to do, you're, unfortunately paying 1 energy instead, which Kaisa just gets to do for free. But still like very good. And then it has a second ability where you can just exhaust him, to attach an attached equipment you control to a unit you control. So this would be from a unit that is alive onto another unit. So it's not as good, but it is free. And there is some synergy there that we'll talk about as well. So pretty neat stuff. So yeah, I've got a lot of cards that I can look at. One of the things I'm going to talk about is just Apprentice Smith. This is just a 2-drop 2 might unit. When I move, reveal the top card of your main deck. If it's a gear, draw it. Otherwise, recycle it. Very strong. This is we've seen Clockwork Keeper see a lot of play, and that's definitely a better like late game card because you can recycle when it doesn't matter as much and then immediately get that card draw to replace out of hand. But this is definitely a better early game card that has a similar effect. Clockwork Keeper, you never really wanted to deramp yourself right away to draw. That's just like bad. So this one has more of an early game draw effect where if you're in Jax, you're definitely building around gear and equipment. That's literally what your legend ability does. So this is kind of why I wanted to bring up this, even though this is a more generic unit. Just because moving it, you go first, you drop it, your opponent goes, they drop a unit, you move it up, you already might draw. You might not, which is definitely why this card is balanced. But then they have to try to fight yours if they got their 2-drop. If they miss their 2-drop, this card gets crazy.
Yeah.
But you're in green, in orange, you have a lot of like ways to keep this alive if you want to. And so if you can keep it alive, then next turn you can move it off base, which is another chance at drawing. And then that means that you'll probably have another chance to move it up to battlefield again and have a chance at drawing again. So there's a very real world where this draws you like 2 cards. And I think more probability based is probably closer to 1.
Yeah.
But that's still very good for a 2-cost 2-might unit with no energy restrictions. So that's a pretty interesting unit to me. There's Brutalizer, which you mentioned, I think.
Yeah, I did.
This is much better in Jax because you play Brutalizer, which is a 2-cost gear equipment. It has 1 calm equipped cost. +1 might. If this was attached to me this turn, I have an additional +2 might. So this is very good in Jax because you can play this, pay 1 to equip it to something, and you have paid 3 total energy to buff something by 3 that turn, which is pretty decent. It's not great, but the fact that this sticks around and then after you use this, especially if it stays equipped to something, you can just tap Jax, move it, and now you are giving a free +3 might. which is insane. So this is like, I think Brutalizer is the most synergistic with Jax specifically, because Jax is just so easy to keep bouncing this around, and it's such a cheap cost. So this is just like a way to just constantly give +3 might in Jax, which is really, really good. And even if they kill something, right, like you still only have to pay 1 energy. You're not de-ramping yourself every single time to equip this. So very, very good card for Jax, I think. It's going to give you a very good way to take battlefields, I think. So really, really cool card. There is a Phalios, which is a champion unit, 4 cost, 1 calm, 4 might. When you attach an equipment to me, choose one that hasn't been chosen this turn. Ready 2 runes, or channel 1 rune exhausted, or buff a friendly unit. This is, again, very synergistic with Jax because you can just keep moving things around. So just every single turn, you're just equipping something to him or whatever, right? And so that one's very interesting. You know, we've seen how powerful Ready 2 Runes is, especially in colors like Calm, which has just so much interaction for your opponent's turn. You know, you can keep Defies open, you can keep Disciplines open, all that kind of stuff. Channeling Runes Exhausted is really good. So he does cost a Calm. So if you do that, you will immediately get his cost back, which is neat. So it's a way to like really try to get long-term value from him if you want to do it that way. And buffing friendly units, I feel like is probably what you use the least, especially because you're already getting so much might modifiers from a lot of your equipment, but still a good option to have. And there is a world where you do equip 2 or 3 things to him in a turn and get all of the effects.
I'm just realizing now when I was talking about Fiora, I probably should have mentioned the fact that you can equip stuff and give it might, and it becomes mighty as well.
Oh, yeah. Very, very, very relevant.
Yeah.
Yep. Yes, extremely relevant. There's another really good Calm gear equipment. There's a 2 cost Guardian Angel. Yeah. It is equipped Calm, which again in Jax you don't have to do. +1 might. If I would die, kill Guardian Angel instead. Heal me, exhaust me, and recall me. Which like sounds like the title of a song. Yeah. Heal me, exhaust me, and recall me.
Wow.
So very similar to Zhonya's Hourglass, obviously. The nice thing is that it can be more unit specific. So if you just play a Zhonya's for 2 into your base, it'll just have to be used anytime the next time something dies. So they might like use a kill spell or something that like you didn't plan on that unit dying that way, and it kind of like pops your Zhonya's and waste it. Guardian Angel's cool because you can equip it to a specific thing and say, if this thing dies, then I will save it. Yeah. So that's very good.
That's super good.
Also, the might modifiers, very relevant as well. So it's different than Zhonya's, but better in some decks, better in some situations. I think it'll be a very good card. Then we have the first... actually, I'll talk about that one. No, I'll talk about it now. Calm's champion unit for Jax, which is a 5 cost, 1 Calm for 5 might. With Deflect, which is, I think, very, very important in this new set. Each equipment in your hand has Quick Draw, which means it gains reaction, and when you play it, attach it to a unit you control. That's crazy. So now every single equipment in your deck, which you are wanting to run a lot of them because of your Legend's ability, is now reaction speed. It's now a battle trick. You know, it's now a interaction piece with your opponent. So very, very neat champion unit, and it having Deflect is going to hopefully mean that it sticks around a little bit more and is harder to kill with a kill spell or something. So you're just going to be able to get that static effect on the board for a lot longer. You know, attach a Zhonya's to it or something too, right? Or not Zhonya's, sorry, a Guardian Angel to it. Yeah. And then now you are, which also, by the way, you can quick draw the Guardian Angel, which is crazy.
Yeah, that's pretty sweet.
So your opponent goes, all right, that Jax is going to be a problem. I'm going to use a kill spell on it. I'll pay the deflect cost. And then you just go, oh, Guardian Angel, I didn't even pay any power for that whatsoever. So you deramped yourself. We each used a card. Mine was probably better tempo because there's not a lot of 2-cost spells that are going to kill the Jax.
Yeah.
And so just like insane interaction there with all that. So that's very cool.
Yeah, that is really sweet.
There's Sterix Gauge. I'm not going to spend too much time on this. This has quick draw, and I think it's better in a different deck. I don't think Jax is going to really use this. I think, you know, it's a Brutalizer is basically Sterix Gauge, just better for Jax. So I don't really think that equipment's going to see a lot of play, but I'm talking briefly about every single equipment in its colors because he relies on him so much.
Yeah. No, it makes sense.
But yeah, I think that one's going to be skipped in Jax. We have Irelia, who's a champion unit, 5 cost, 4 might, with deflect again. When you choose or ready me, give me +1 might this turn, which I believe Jax's legend ability chooses, right?
What does it say?
Attach an attached equipment you control to a unit you control. That chooses, right?
Yeah, I believe so, yeah.
It's very funny because Jax has some really big synergy with other people's champion units.
I thought there's cards that just say choose.
I don't know. There's not a
lot
lot of those though.
Well,
so I don't think it would make sense.
We'll do a rules video about it if it works or if it doesn't work in the future. So,
I think choose is kind of like the same word as target. In this game.
it's really awkward. They never say target in this game, which is very awkward. But so if this does work with Jax, you would be able to use Jax's ability for free or something if you're like moving in attached equipment and just giving it +1 might there. So you could have a deflect unit that's just going to constantly be able to be like buffed and stuff. So very interesting for not having any power costs. You could definitely build Jax to like almost never recycle runes if you want,
that's
which is
cool.
like that's like an interesting thing for sure.
Yeah.
Another champion unit that Jax has synergy with is Ornn. 5 might, 1 calm for 5 energy, 1 calm for 5 might. When you play me or when I hold, look at the top 4 of your main deck. You may reveal a gear from among them and draw it, then recycle the rest. So just a
I don't know what color it is or whatever, but there's a card that says your conquer effects or your hold effects, and your hold effects are conquer effects.
Oh, that's super weird.
Yeah.
That's super weird.
So I don't know if it's in Calm or not, or if we'd be able to play it. But yeah, actually, let me find that card.
So that could just be a really good way to keep drawing, because that's one thing that I've noticed about Jax is there's not much draw power, I don't think, which is one of Yi's big downfalls in the current meta right now in Origins. And so it's neat to see that with Ornn, with that 2-drop that I was talking about earlier, you could maybe be drawing a lot of your equipment and stuff, which is really nice. So yeah, that's pretty strong. We have Spellsonger. Again, I don't think this is going to be one that Jax uses a ton of. It's a 3 energy, 1 calm gear equipment. Its equipped cost is an energy and a calm power, which is the first one that I'm talking about that has more than just 1 calm. As long as this is attached to a unit, copy that unit's text to this equipment's effect text for as long as this is attached to it and gives +0 might. So you might...
It's in Fury.
Oh, it's in Fury? Okay.
It's an equipment. Sorry.
So you might use this. You know, if you do it on Ornn, for example, you could double draw or something.
Yeah.
Obviously, like, there's no real point in copying Jax's champion unit effect because you're already... It's not like reducing
Deflect
cost.
does stack, by the way. So... One thing, it gives
that's cool.
It gives extra deflect, which is cool.
Still,
not that really
not really worth it. I don't think. Not for
that's more for Ornn. That card is like
So I don't think Spellsonger has like amazing Jax synergy. But I do think a lot of the other equipment really synergizes with Jax, so it's okay. Now let's talk about
that card's
body.
terrifying in Ari if you give it to like hold Ari.
Yeah. So let's talk about body. We have 2 costs. Gear equipment, Dorn's Blade. Equipped is 1 body power, +2. Yeah. Very simple. You still just might play this because, like I said, you really probably want to run a high gear equipment count so that your draws are actually draws and all that kind of stuff. So just a really good way to modify might and give you kind of that Master Yi feel in Jax, I think, where you get to just like play this and then constantly be like switching it in and out and stuff and constantly be modifying your might. So just like good, solid stuff. Punch first. That's just crazy.
That's so good.
No, it's not like specifically for Jax, but that card's just wild. I just wanted to
I think you just play it if you're in that color. There's like no reason not to.
I think it's going to be a 1 of at least in any deck that is running body. It's a 1 cost double power. We talk about this on our Patreon segment. So if you want to go see us talk about cards that are really relevant, might be overlooked, underlooked, all that kind of stuff. We do short little videos on our Patreon. It's our Let's Talk About It series. Yeah. Really good content that we do. Enjoy that a lot. But action, give a unit +5 might this turn. That's crazy. It costs 2 power, but it's only 1 energy. So in the late game or even mid game, this is just an absolute blowout.
I love that, dude.
There's Veteran Poro, which is a 2 might, 2 energy unit. Just with Weapon Master.
So good.
So
it's so good.
It's so good.
This just might be something that you play in Jax because we already have this is already the second 2 might 2 no energy unit that I'm talking about. And you usually want to be running about 9-ish of those. And so just playing this early just to get a body on board so that you can start equipping all your equipments to it. Very good. And in the late game, it's still relevant too, because you play it and you can just equip something, and it's a good body, right? And like it's better than a Pouty Poro at that point or something. You know what I mean? So that's definitely an interesting card for Jax. Hex Drinker is a 2 energy gear equipment, body equipped costs, deflect, and +1 might. That's very good. So again, you can stack deflects, and I think this is definitely going to be going in Jax for sure. You're going to be able to really protect your units and make it so that hopefully your units are surviving longer, so that you can be using Jax's legend ability for free instead of paying 1 for it, because that'll be very, very important, I think. There is Rune Runner, which is very interesting. It's a 6 energy, no power, 5 might unit in body. I can't be chosen by enemy spells and abilities. So this is
like hexproof, kind of.
Basically,
yeah.
So this is a very, very interesting unit for Jax that can just constantly be equipping stuff to it for free, right? So because you could play this in your base on the same turn, move an equipment to it. Next turn, it's ready now. Finally, you could move another equipment to it and then start attacking or whatever, or just let it sit in your base for a little bit.
Really, really nice against Kaisa.
Yeah, it's very nice against Kaisa because it's going to be nearly impossible for them to remove. So you could just slowly build it up like crazy, put a Guardian's Angel on it or something like that, right? Like just really make it a pain for your enemy to deal with. And
if you have multiple equipments on that and it would die from Guardian's Angel, it'll keep all the other equipments.
Because it never died.
It heals it.
It heals exhaust. Yeah. Yep. And so this is just like a really, really good way to give you that like big late game Aurora effect, where you're just like slamming these dudes that are just like really hard to deal with, but it can't just be fighter flighted or hidden blade or rebuked or something, right? Like really, really, really important card for Jax, I think. This one's kind of interesting. This is Strike Down. It's our first spell that I think I'm talking about. 3 costs.
I saw this one, yeah.
3 energy, 1 body power. Choose an equipped friendly unit. It deals damage equal to its might to an enemy unit, then detach an equipment for it. Because Jax just has that equipped right back kind of synergy, you're not deramping every single time. I feel like this is going to be a very strong spell for Jax specifically. When I look at this card, I'm not super impressed with it. But I think in Jax, it's pretty good just to deal with problem units and stuff. And honestly, like it might actually give you accidental synergy because there's that one Aphelios that I talked about that like every time you equip something to him, you get more effects and stuff. So it might actually be beneficial to like detach and then re-equip to him and get more effects and stuff. So pretty interesting. We have our first 1 energy gear equipment. It's Warmong's Armor. It has a body equipped cost, and when I conquer, buff me, and it also has a +1.
That card seems really good.
So what you do is you play, your 2 costs. When I move, look at the top gear, maybe draw. You play that turn 1. Then on your next turn, you ready it. You play Warmongs. You equipped it with Jax for just 1 energy. You're not deramping. You move it up. It's a 3 might unit, so it's going to be pretty hard for your opponent to interact with that if they've only had 1 turn. Hextech Ray would be like the only thing I can think of, which you still have like energy left because you are on 4 runes now at this point. You spent 1 for Warmongs, you spent 1 for Jax ability. You can disciple or discipline, you can on guard, whatever. You can defy. Yeah. So like you're gonna be able to protect it pretty well, and then it's gonna buff it. So now your unit is, after taking a point, 4 might, which is crazy. That's like literally Master Yi level abilities. Like Master Yi's effect used to be play Clockwork Keeper turn 1, move it up, get a point because there's nothing there, and then now it's defending, so it's a 4 might unit. This is literally giving you Yi's ability, except now it also has a buff counter, which sometimes has more synergy with other cards, and you could move Warmongs to another thing next turn for free. So the last 2 mana, if you didn't spend on like protecting your unit, you could spend on another 2-drop, right? And then next turn, switch it for free, and then like keep buffing all your units and stuff. So
it seems like Jax really really does well with like super value oriented equipment, like the cheaper ones that have some kind of effect when they move or when they're equipped.
Came in value?
Yeah, that's crazy.
I know. Well, because like these cards are all designed like you wouldn't want to pay a body ruin for this.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like so these are definitely the gear that aren't really worth it if you're paying the rune back all the time.
Yeah.
That's where Jax is shining, obviously.
Yeah.
So yeah, definitely value based for sure. I already talked about Auction earlier, so I'm going to skip him, but that's pretty cool. Trinity Force, I don't think is going to be super good in Jax. It might be. It's a 4 energy, gear equipment, equipped body, +2 might when I hold, score 1 point.
This, I don't know. It seems like almost a end game. Like, you know, you're talking about that 6 cost that has 5 might, and then you attach this to it along with Guardian's Angel, so it didn't die. And then maybe you use this to conquer again, and then gets an extra point, and then you use Jack's ability to move it to another unit and conquer again to get another extra point, and like you just win. You know,
it's like, when I hold, score 1 point.
It's when you hold. Well, then you do
What
it.
color is this one?
It's body.
Oh, sick.
What color is Orin? Blue green.
So it's
you could play it because you play Orin that says when I hold. Oh, you need fire. So is there fire? What's
red?
volley.
Fury.
It's volley. Volley's Orin, right? Body fury.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I don't think this card is bad.
That'd be sick though.
Any card that is going to give you the potential to score extra points is always going to be somewhat viable. I just don't think this is a Jax card. I think Jax is going to be conquering a lot from the way that I'm building it in my head already. So I'm not super certain if Trinity Force is going to be a gear that you're going to actually find the room for. Then there's Bone Shiver, which I think you will find the room for. This is a 3 energy gear equipment, equipped 1 energy and a body rune, but in Jax, you mitigate that, +2 might, and when I conquer, channel 1 rune exhausted. So being able to play this for 3, paying 1 to equip it immediately, so it's a 4 energy play, but then giving a 2 might modifier and immediately conquering and ramping. Because in Jax, you're not de-ramping for this, so it's actually going to ramp you. So this is essentially Catalyst of Aeons, but you have to have it, like, you have to have a unit, which isn't a big ask, but it's going to help you conquer something, which in this early of the game is very, very easy, especially if you're giving +2 might. And so, like, it's a weird Catalyst of Aeons where it's giving you it's like a Catalyst and a Conquest. What is that card called? Challenge? No.
Confront? Wait, no, sorry. My brain just went.
Yeah. Is it Conquest? 2 cost, channel 1 rune.
Oh,
Mobilize.
Mobilize.
I never remember that card.
Yeah, Mobilize.
So it's just kind of this weird mix of like Mobilize / Confront or Catalyst, but like it's modifying, like it's like a Kiana. I don't know. It's very, very odd, but like this definitely seems like it would be good in Jax, especially because, you know, it's got a pretty hefty equipment cost and you just get to mitigate that. Jax's champion unit for body is a 4 energy 1 body ruin for 3 might with Weapon Master. When you attach an equipment to me, you may pay 1 to draw 1. So, like I said earlier, Jax kind of seems to maybe have a struggle with draw engine. This is definitely going to help, especially if you want to play this in your champion unit. Honestly, I'm pretty impressed with both of Jax's champion units. I feel like usually in this game, there's one clear better one. And frankly, I think that you would be playing both of these in your deck, and I'm going to have a hard time figuring out which one I want to start in.
What was the calm one?
It's quick action for your equipment. So you can do Guardian Angel and all these other shenanigans at fast speed, which is pretty crazy. So obviously very important too that if you're at 5 runes, you could play this for 4. It has Weapon Master, so you'll automatically, no matter what, get to attach an equipment to it, and then you can pay that 1. So that's why you need that 5 runes to draw 1. So you can always like replace it right away, which is really good. You don't have to have like an attached equipment to like free play it with Jax or something, but that is the thing. If you do this when you're at 6 runes and you do have an attached and an unattached equipment, you can play it for 4, Weapon Master the unattached one, pay 1 to draw.
Yeah.
Free tap the Jax Legend, move it to this, pay 1 to draw. So that's like very significant. Yeah. Drawing 2 in this game is like pretty crazy. Not a lot of cards let you do that. So this is definitely a very interesting card. And then the last card that I'm going to talk about, I know I talked a long time, but hopefully this gave you a really good idea of Jax in this upcoming set, is his signature spell, which I think is the least excited I am of all of the Jax specific cards. So Counter Strike, super cool artwork. It's a 2 energy body or calm power cost, signature spell for Jax only, reaction speed, choose a unit. The next time that unit would be dealt damage this turn, prevent it, draw 1. So it's very similar to one cost Unyielding Spirit. So it's very similar to Unyielding Spirit, except it costs 1 more, and it deramps you. Unyielding Spirit just costs 1, no energy, but it only stops spell damage, non-combat damage, and it doesn't replace itself with a draw.
Unyielding has a...
Oh, it does have a...
It does power cost.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it's 1 and 1.
Okay, then this is better than I thought.
Yeah.
Okay, for sure.
Yeah.
So this can stop any type of damage, which is very relevant.
Yeah, that's huge.
Very fitting for his ability too in League of Legends. The fact that it replaces itself is really gigantic because it, like, body and calm together has historically had a big problem with card draw. I'm going to keep saying it because that's literally the reason that you stop playing Yi.
Yeah.
And so, like, we are seeing a decent amount of cards like that on Jax. I said at the beginning that he didn't have a lot of card draw. I think if you build him a specific way, you actually do. But this is pretty crazy because, yeah, I thought that this was just kind of like a slightly better Unyielding Spirit, but I actually think it's a much better Unyielding Spirit. So, yeah, that card's crazy.
Next time, can you read it one more time?
Choose a unit. The next time that unit would be dealt damage of any type, this turn, prevent it.
So yeah,
draw 1.
So if you're about to trade, you can.
Oh yeah, it also like would just create a tie, right, in combat because like let's say you're smaller, right?
Yeah.
So like
then they get pushed back if they.
Let's say Vi just rode the winds over to win the game.
Yeah.
And then I just do this instead.
Yeah.
She can't kill me.
It's a really good
So
point.
it just bounces
And
her out.
she pushes her back to base.
Yeah.
No, that's really cool.
I think this card is actually busted.
Yeah.
I was definitely not understanding it properly the first time I looked at this. But yeah,
that card's
this
sick.
card's insane.
Allows you to win trades.
Yeah.
It obviously is like pretty nice against something like a, Hextech Ray or the issue is like with something like Falling Star or Cathian Rain, it'll only stop one of those triggers.
Yeah.
And so it's not quite as good as Unyielding Spirits against cards like that.
It's kind of cool against like because what's MF's the one that
Bullet Time?
Bullet Time where it just like destroys the entire battlefield. You just go, okay, well at least one of my guys lives. My biggest guy that has all the equipment on him lives.
Yeah, right. No, yeah, this card's
pretty cool.
Definitely good.
I like it if you play like hold Ari and Jax.
I mean,
and you could just protect it. It's kind of funny.
Actually, it's really cool.
With Trinity Force.
With Trinity Force,
it's really fun against
Hold Jax.
Bullet Time. Yeah. Trinity Force in this was actually kind of cool.
All right, maybe it's better.
But also like something like Bullet Time, not necessarily Bullet Time, but let's say because Bullet Time is like they choose the amount of runes after as part of resolution, right? So like they usually like a lot of them go like I want to kill off your dudes, and you're like, or do you have any response, or whatever? And if you say no, then they'll do the runes. They don't do it before. But this way, if you do use this in response to something like that, and they go, okay, I won't deal any damage, but then they try to move something up because they forgot. Because this is still
it's still sticking around.
It's still sticking around because they didn't. And now they just get rid of one rune and and pop it. But
I get
still, but like effects like that, where they have to pay the cost as part of resolution instead.
Yeah. No, super good.
Jax is cool.
Definitely. Yeah, I mean, Counter Strike and Guardian Angel, which can potentially be reaction speed.
Yeah,
that's pretty annoying to deal with.
Yeah.
So Jax is gonna have some sticky units for sure.
Yeah, and just be really the combat tricks they play. Like before, it's like, oh, I got to play around Discipline. I got to play around On Guard. I got to play around DeFi. Now they're like, oh, let me flash in my Guardian Angel.
Actually, that's also kind of cool because even with Zonias, you can say, I want to save this one. This one will die because it has more life.
Yeah.
And that's the one you want to save, actually. Like not instead of the
there's definitely some other situations that it could come up with. I think that card's pretty sick.
Cool.
I have a feeling that he did not do very well in China. But
that's your thought? Yeah.
I do think he's strong. I don't know if he will be tier 1, but I think he's very strong.
He's super cool.
I'm sure they would have played.
I'm gonna before I talk about my one, I'm only gonna do one legend. That which is cool. I mean, we talked about Jax a ton, which is cool. I think not a lot of people are talking about Jax.
Yeah.
So that's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. I'm gonna do one, which is one I'm excited for. But out of what you guys know, which you don't know all the legends, I don't think yet, the new ones. So
all right, I'm gonna name them. the ones I know.
Yeah. From
Ready?
the new set?
Yeah. Rek'Sai,
Yep.
Rumble,
Yep.
Azir, Jax, Fiona, Draven, Renata Glass.
Yep.
There might be that I can remember. Wait. Give me a sec. Lucian.
Yep. You're doing pretty good.
Yeah. How many are there?
I have no idea.
Okay.
I don't know that number for you right now. Like 12 maybe?
And Ornn.
Yeah.
That's I got, I don't know, that was like 8 or 9.
I really am Fiora as well.
Yep. And you did
I said Fiora.
Oh, yeah.
Did you?
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
really,
really, I don't remember.
I think there's probably 12. I assume that
I
they're
would
just going
assume.
to keep that number.
Did you say you didn't say Ezreal?
No, I forgot what it was.
Yeah.
I know.
I think
he's
there's
a thing.
12. This could be wrong. You guys are going to tell us that we're bad and we don't know, and that's okay. We're still learning. Okay, perfect. Well, let me break down. So over 1,100 players. This is from Runes and Rift, by the way. Really cool X account, Twitter account that does a ton of updates on everything Riftbound. So if you don't, check them out. One post they did was over 1,100 people competed across China this past week for Spiritforged challenges. It's obviously very early in the meta, right? So what you guys know and the champs you know, and even from last,
There's 12.
There's 12, perfect.
Sivir, I forgot Sivir.
Do you guys have like a guess of what decks you think are showing off? Now, granted, these are best of ones, so that does change some things, right? Is there any decks that you think would be rising to the top?
Well, you said Draven. So
Yeah, I know. I already talked about Draven.
Did you say Draven?
I didn't talk about that on stream.
Oh,
Yeah,
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I didn't even hear that. So.
Yeah.
What's I'm gonna read Sivir's effect real quick, and then I'll let you know.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of effects out there, and these are all going to be.
Oh, that's cool. I'm gonna say Sivir, just because that seems good. I'm gonna say Sivir and Fiora. I don't know.
Cool. Yeah.
And a spicy Teemo.
Oh, okay. Yeah, these are just like decks that have made the top of these events. Yeah. So there's quite a few.
There's a couple more. There's 3 or 4 hidden cards for blue purple.
Yeah.
One of them is an equipment. I can't remember what it's called, but I don't know. Seems decent.
Yeah, that's cool
with Teemo.
So I'm gonna tell you.
Yep.
There are 12, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 17 different champs that made the top 8s.
Sick.
Which is pretty cool.
Wait, top 8s.
Yeah, these are all top 8s from the city. Yeah,
sure,
from the challenges.
Sure. Sorry.
So there's been 17 different unique
decks
legends
in top 8.
Yeah. 17 different decks in top 8. The highest showing, the best showings, Draven in first.
Cool.
Draven is the one that has the most spots in the top.
I feel like Irelia and Ezreal are up there.
The second most is Kai'Sa.
Oh, sure.
Yeah. So third most is Yi.
Okay.
Yeah.
So those are still going to be showing there.
They love Kai'Sa and Yi.
They love guys and Yi over there. Aurelia is the next.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
So
nice.
Followed by Victor.
That's right.
Which there's a new Victor list that's been going around that's just been really, really crushing these best of one formats. And then Annie, Fiora, Ezreal. After that, they all kind of make their way down. MF, Rek'Sai, Azir, Darius, Lucian, Lux, Rumble, Set,
no Sivir.
and Yasuo. No Sivir.
Oh my gosh.
Wow.
Yeah. I know a lot of people.
Seems decent.
Was Jax wasn't on that list?
No, Jax. No, Renata Glass, which a lot of people were thinking that card was going to be like broken.
Renata seems good.
Yeah. Which maybe they just haven't figured it out, or maybe she's not good in best of one.
Yeah, that could be it. And that is definitely something to remember. Is like this is super early into their season, and that's why I was like, I don't think Jax is getting much results because you definitely have to build it a super specific way. You can't just like throw the old Yi core onto it and just be like, yeah, this is good. No,
100%. So there was 10 city challenges, I think. Out of those 10, the winners were 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 Dravens,
wow.
3 Kaisas, and 1 Victor.
Wow.
So those were what have been taking this stuff down.
Did you read Sivir's effect?
What does Sivir's effect do? Why don't you read it out loud?
Yeah, sure, why not? Sivir is body and chaos, and when you recycle a rune, you may exhaust me to play a gold gear token exhausted, and then when one or more enemy units dies, ready me. It seems like it should be decent.
It's interesting. The thing that I don't like is that a lot of legends allow you to not recycle, right? Like it replaces the recycle that you would do, like Jax, like Kaisa, like, you know, a million other ones. And this one, you only get a benefit once you have recycled, and then you get a gold that makes it so you don't recycle, so then you don't trigger silver. You know what I mean? Like, it is like a little, like,
but you could always choose to not use the gold until later.
Yeah.
Like, you could stack it.
Yeah.
I don't know if there's how good gear synergies, like just like base having gears in general is.
Yeah, I don't know.
I mean, there's a lot of gear removal too, so that's like a little scary to go that way.
Hey, I think.
I mean, if
she
they're
seems
using
cool.
their gear removal to get rid of a gold, I think I'm okay with that.
Yeah, that's fair.
She seems cool.
But there's a lot of gold synergy too.
There is a lot of gold synergy. She seems cool. I think, yeah, it really just depends on the gold synergy.
Yeah. Gold. So like gold's very interesting to me. I'm like
read some gold.
I'm super into gold because it basically turns everybody into Kaisa, right?
Yeah.
So like obviously it makes Kaisa like crazy because now all these things are free. But like just the idea of being able to reduce that cost and reduce just the resource loss that comes along with playing cards like Falling Star and even like big cards like Time Warp and things like that is pretty cool. Probably is going to set up a lot of really cool combos and a lot of really, really cool decks. But let me tell you about Draven, because that's who I was going to talk about. Draven, Glorious Executioner, right? He is Chaos and Fury. His ability, which is super generic and super powerful and super on theme, is when you win a combat, draw one.
Yep.
That's crazy,
That
especially
crazy.
in purple decks. And like red, which have so much,
red,
you have so much removal. You have so much like just Fight or Flight now just replaces itself. It just makes you win a combat, right?
Yeah.
Which is super cool because it doesn't say when you conquer; it's when you win a combat. So, which is pretty cool. A lot of the cards I'm most excited for in this set that I have seen are purple. So like super cool access to a few different things. The first two that I want to talk about are two 2-drop units, which are like super sick in a deck like this.
Mm-hmm.
And the first one is maybe the most exciting for me, and like the way I want to play these decks is Treasure Hunter. If you guys aren't familiar, it's a 2 cost, so it's 2 energy, 1 might. When I move, play a gold gear token exhausted.
Yeah.
What?
Yes.
That's insane.
So this is one of your new 2-drops that you just play. Boom, turn 1, and now you move it up, you get a gold.
It's in chaos.
Yes.
It is in chaos.
That's crazy.
Yes, in Yasuo. This is another Yasuo target.
That's
So an early game thing that makes you get this reduction like this.
Yeah.
So now we get to get into situations where we play this on turn 1, and we are now like Kaisa with Falling Star.
Flash is going to be like $100.
Yeah.
well, they're reprinting already.
No,
We'll see what
It's
happens. Not in the promo pack,
Yeah,
which is
but
a
definitely-
big miss.
Yeah. Well, they are reprinting the whole thing,
Proving
the Proving
Grounds.
Ground
We'll
set,
That's
but we'll
yeah.
see when those actually come out.
We'll see when those come out,
Yeah.
how many there
Yeah,
are.
yeah. You never
Flash
know.
could still be a huge problem because
Yeah.
there's only 2 of them
Yeah.
in the Proving Grounds.
which is the unfortunate, and you
so
need
you
3.
still have to buy 2 Proving Grounds
Yeah.
to get enough.
And they
So,
might honestly, they could still change that. What's getting reprinted for NA or
I hope they do.
Yeah.
Because Flash should be in there, especially because people are going to want to foil it. If you
Yeah.
can foil out Annie,
Yeah.
leader, you
Yeah,
should
yeah.
be able to foil, or Legend, you should
Yeah.
be able to foil
You would
out
think.
Flash.
We'll see what happens, but I think that all of the unique cards should be in it.
Yeah.
The cards that you can only get out of Proving Grounds.
Yeah.
And Flash obviously being one of those.
Yeah.
So that card's nuts.
It's the most important one.
Yeah.
It's literally the most expensive card from Proving Grounds.
And now like this card, so like obviously in Draven, this card is good. This card in Annie, bro, I'm like, this card seems insane in Annie. So I'm really excited about that as someone who plays a lot of Annie. The other one I want to talk about is Overzealous Fan, which is another 2 cost, 2 might unit. This one has 2 might. Last guy had 1.
Yeah.
When I defend, you may kill me to move an attacking unit to its base. So it's just a 2/2.
Oh,
What's
that's
this?
It's fight or flight
super
on a
interesting.
unit.
Say it one more time for me.
Yeah. When I defend, well, it's not a little less than fight or flight. When I defend, you may kill me to move
Okay.
an attacking unit to its base.
Interesting. Okay.
So it's pretty cool.
Definitely good in a deck like Draven. Where
Yeah.
You're not untapping 2 at the end like Annie does, so you can't just always hold up interaction
Yeah.
in your hand. Yeah,
So it's
that's
super
pretty
cool.
decent.
And then if you do play like this teamed up with like there's the 2 Dravens that are like really showing their face right now. There's the red, which is Draven Vanquisher, which he's probably the best one. It's just a 4-cost 4 might. That's it. When I win a combat, play a gold gear token exhausted. And when I attack or defend, you may pay 1 fury. If you do, give me +2 might this turn.
That's so good.
He
What
is
the heck?
nuts.
Yeah.
And once he wins once, you get the gold.
Yeah.
Right? And now you have a free pump. And every time he wins a combat, he gets another one.
Yeah.
So
That's crazy.
So he is actually nuts. Now, he does a really good job of fighting on his own. The other Draven, let me see if I can find him real quick.
I can't wait to stun that Draven.
Yeah. Dude, you're gonna have to, man. The thing's freaking crazy. So there is also a Chaos one, and I know everything he does. I'm trying to pull up his exact name. So what he does is, I just found it. Perfect. Audacious Draven. 6 cost, 1 power. You got to get rid of that, which is the Chaos. He's a 6 might unit. He has Deflect, and then the first time I win a combat each turn, you score 1 point. When I die in combat, choose an opponent. They score 1 point.
That's so crazy.
So, like, I don't think we're going to see a ton of him.
Yeah.
I don't think he's very high risk, high reward, which is very on theme.
Yeah.
Love that.
It's when he wins a combat.
Yeah, when he wins in combat.
No, it's
for the
when
first
you,
time. When
right?
you win. So like
you could play it into your base and then use another unit to.
he is. Let me rephrase this. So when the first time I win.
Oh,
Like when he wins.
okay,
Yeah.
okay,
So not as broken as that, but
okay.
But when he has to be on the field. He would be nuts if he could just sit. But a card like Overzealous Fan with him there is pretty annoying, right? It's like, oh, well, now I can't swing into this.
Yeah.
Or like, things like that could be cool. But I think that just Overzealous Fan, just
Overzealous Fan is an insane card.
yeah, that card is super cool.
Yeah.
So very, very excited to see that. And we even have some other really, like, this card is not getting played of as a 3 of, and it's in some lists, it's some not. I'm just excited for all these aggressive cards. Gem Jammer, which is another 2 cost.
I love these
2
names.
cost. Yeah, dude, I know.
Great names.
2 cost, 2 might. When you play me, give a unit ganking this turn. Just that. But I love that with the Draven that can just
Yeah.
pump himself and like just a really cool, just lets
Yeah.
you do double conquers.
I'm very glad that we are getting more 2-drop options.
Yeah.
Because that is definitely one of the things that I felt was lacking in Origins.
Yeah.
Which makes sense. Smaller card pool.
Yeah,
but-
and then these decks they're messing around with playing like Ezreal, which I was going to talk about Ezreal because that was the one I'm very excited about. But Ezreal Prodigy, that champion, just 3 + 1. Oh my gosh, not energy, power. 1 power. 3 cost, 3 might. When you play me, discard 1, then draw 2, and then optional additional costs you pay cost 1 less or 1 recycle less. And that's just what he is.
Okay.
So like,
Interesting.
so all the additional things you can do now, your
Yeah,
Draven pumps for
repeat
free.
and all that kind of
Yeah.
stuff.
So like, it's not like paying for things, right? Like normal costs.
Yeah.
These are additional costs. So like, if you
Accelerate.
exactly
Yeah,
things like
yeah.
that. So really, really cool. Really cool with like Kaisa
Yeah.
and stuff like that. Just a powerful unit. And then also the card that is my favorite card from the set, which is Fizz Trickster.
Okay.
This card is actually number 1 on my list. I think this card is crazy. It's Chaos, 3 and 1 Chaos for a 3 might unit. When you play me, you may play a spell from your trash with energy costs no more than 3, ignoring its energy cost. Recycle that spell after you play it. So this is super cool.
Yeah. What color
Because
is this?
this is in Chaos, so purple.
So
That's pretty darn good.
Yeah.
Andy likes that card probably.
Oh yeah,
too.
100%.
Yeah.
This card, just getting to play all of those things over and over and over again.
Yeah.
You get to use whatever
Void
you want.
Seeker.
Void Seeker, you get to use.
Huge.
Just do it.
Yeah.
Falling Star if you want.
Oh,
like
gross.
so, like, and if you have a bunch of gold, you're just like, cool. Falling Star, kill 2
Yeah.
things, play
And
Fizz.
get a body.
Yeah, and now play it again. Like, Fizz is gross.
Yeah.
He's Annie. He's another Annie effect,
Yeah,
right? Where you get to
yeah.
recur a spell, but this just plays it.
That's insane tempo.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
the amount of like when we get a Fizz legend and getting to like just have this that you can use at any time is pretty sweet. So
yeah, I mean, this is Ride the Winds number 4,
Yeah,
right?
literally.
Like, Annie very commonly uses Annie to do that.
Yeah.
And that's pretty cool.
yeah, and the cost is a little less for setups for Annie now with this, because like now I can just play the Vi and then play Fizz instead of having to wait a whole nother turn. I can just do this.
It's an 8 cost play to do Vi, Annie, Vi the wins.
Yeah.
Now it's just Vi Fizz.
Now it's just 5.
That's a lot better.
Yeah.
Yep.
So pretty cool. Really, really, really exciting card. So I can see why this deck is doing well. It's just an aggressive deck. Draws a lot of cards, which is always really powerful. And then the last card I'm going to talk about, I'm going to talk about 2 more, and then we'll call it, because I could talk about a million cards on this guy. I want to talk about Switcheroo, because this card is nuts.
Yep.
And it's just a 2.
This is the card that I thought in Team Up that's really good too.
Oh, yeah.
Because
that's hidden.
Yeah.
It has hidden. I don't know why they gave it hidden. That's crazy.
Yeah.
So 2 cost, 2 power spell with hidden, which that's already.
So Team Up can literally pay 1 for this card.
Yeah. Which is crazy. It's an action. Swap the mites of 2 units at the same battlefield this turn.
Yeah.
This is just rebuke that you can hide, right? I mean, it's a little different than rebuke. Maybe better, because you just, when they dead bloom you and tap out for you, like, cool, kill your dead bloom instead of putting it back in their hand.
Yeah.
You just -1. I had to get rid of a thing here, but who cares? It was hidden or whatever, right?
And then you can't move another unit up to kill it later, because I still have that might.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So that's really, really cool that it just does it for the turn, right? It creates some really weird battlefields. It lets all of a sudden little things that are holding, like now your little 2 power, 1 power guy.
Your merchant. Right?
Yeah, is a giant threat.
Yeah.
They try to swing into it with Master Yi makes their Yi and tries to swing. You're like, cool, switcheroo. And now their Yi just dies. And they're just absolutely blown out, right?
Yeah.
So crazy tempo here. Really like that card.
I mean, hidden now with gold in general is really good.
Yeah.
Like,
you
it's
just
so
get
solid.
hidden is already really powerful,
Yeah.
right? Making everything have reaction speed, all these, like that card, now you get reaction speed too.
Yeah,
it's
that's
really,
crazy.
really, really cool, because
when they go challenge or falling star or whatever, and you're like, boop.
Yeah.
Which is really cool. So like,
and it's, can you read the I want to hear the wording of it.
Swap the mites of 2 units at the same battle.
Okay.
So it does have to be at the same, but it creates a lot of really, really cool situations, which is what I like. And the last card that I'm going to talk about today is just Draven's signature, which his signature is an equipment, which is why I wanted to talk about it, which is pretty cool. It's Spinning Axe. It is a 2 cost, 1 power hybrid, so either one of their colors, has quick draw. So now we have this has reaction when you play it, attach it to a unit you control, equipped for 1, and it has 3 power.
Equipped for 1 power.
Equipped for 1, power. Yep.
Oh, 3 might.
3 might. Yep. Sorry, I reversed that in my brain. 1 power to equip it, and 3 might for 2.
And Quick Draw says you can equip this at
reaction speed.
At reaction speed specifically. Okay.
So it's a combat trick.
Quick Draw does not mean attach this when you play it.
No, when you play it, attach to the unit you control.
So you do not have to pay that additional cost.
No, it just attaches.
Okay, cool.
Which is really cool.
Yeah.
So this is just a 2 cost. If you have gold, it's literally just 2 cost to give +3. Now the downfall and the thing that makes this a little balanced, because a 2 cost that has 3 is literally insane. It has temporary. If this is unattached, kill it at the start of its controller's beginning phase before scoring.
Okay.
Because like this card's insane.
Yeah.
Like if this just got the sit out, now you got 2-3 spinning axes just out. It's literally nuts. But it's really high power. It's very on theme for Draven, right? When he's got his spinning axes versus normal autos, it's crazy different. And so you get to +3. So this is a bigger than discipline, right? And then the quick draw, the reaction is nuts because it gives you the reaction speed to save things.
Yeah,
potentially.
I mean, that color, getting that kind of might modifier at reaction speed is insane.
Yeah. And I think that's probably
it's color breaking,
and it's catching a lot of people off. I bet.
Yeah,
playing against Draven right now when they play 3 of this card, and you're like, okay, cool, like I can get into this, I can kill it, and they just go, oh, cool, fast speed, put a 3, now it gets +3, and they're like, wait a second, I didn't know they could do that. I thought they could just Void Seeker me or something here, you know, whatever, maybe fight or flight. Or now we have, like, if I'm a Draven player and I'm stuck in Vilemaws, right, instead of like fight or flighting, now you can just like throw this down and then play your little dude that gives ganking and get out. So like Vilemaws not as scary, right?
Hold effects, because I feel like hold effects last set felt very like very hard to do a lot of the time, unless you were like
specifically Master Yi.
All in on it.
Master Yi, or you're against an Aurora deck, so like early on I might get a couple hold effects, but with how many different types of combat tricks we're getting now, and with like equipment being like really stacking up on one dude, there's probably a very higher chance of being able
Fatties are a lot less scary now,
Yeah.
which is good and bad, I think.
Yeah.
Because now I'm just like, well, should I just play a bunch of equipment and make my little weenies into giant threats, or should I take my entire turn to play a Dead Bloom Predator, and get blown out by a switcheroo?
Yeah.
So like,
yeah,
I don't know how I feel about that. Right? It's kind of tough. We'll see how that like unfolds. I think that there's a lot to be dove into in this set. I think that obviously we're just looking at some cards for the first time and digging into it.
Vegas and Italy are like right after set release, right? Oh, that's crazy.
Italy's like the week after, I think.
That is so wild.
Which
this
is like
gonna
really
be
unfortunate
a
for them.
scuffed event. Yeah, it's going to be so hard to figure out. I mean, fortunately, we get to see what China does.
Yeah.
That's going to be a huge indicator for us.
And obviously, like a lot of people, because we have the spoilers of everything, they're starting to test.
People are already testing.
There's online clients.
Yeah, we know what will be decent, right? At least to some degree. But getting the physical cards is going to be the hard part. I think a lot of the highest competitive level players will be playing with Chinese cards. Just the guarantee that they have them in their possession.
Sure.
A lot of people right now are buying them to complete their play set so they can play with real cards. But yeah, I'm really excited to see where things go. I hope that Ezreal is sick. That's a card. That's a deck I really want to mess around with.
I gotta see that Yasuo deck.
Yeah. We'll figure Yasuo out, make him sweet. But yeah, I think that for today, we've thrown a lot of information their way. So this was kind of our first glance. I know a lot of you guys have been like checking out events, all these cards, building decks, playing on online clients. You probably know a lot more than us when it comes to these new cards as of right now. So if you have if like anything that we said was completely wrong, let us know. These are our first looks today. So we are excited to mess around with it and to try out some of these new legends. It's always exciting to see new legends and new play styles when, unfortunately, when we are behind the Chinese meta, it's a little unfortunate. A lot of NA players tend to just like net deck. And so we end up in these situations where no one's brewing. Luckily, we did see a rise of some decks here that they didn't have in China, but we did see still, a lot of Yi, a lot of Kaisa. Granted, those decks are very strong, but I hope that brewers are happening right now. I hope that these guys are trying to figure out Jax, trying to figure out Fiora, and like make these things top tier. We'll see what happens.
You'll definitely see some Jax content on the channel. For sure. I can guarantee you that.
Yeah, it'll happen. So thank you guys so much for hanging out with us today. If you've liked these podcasts some more, you like our Riftbound content, you want more ways to support the channel so that we can pump more content your way, you should check out our Patreon, like our $100 patrons, Jun and Dave.
Where we have a full in-depth Annie breakdown.
We do have an article there.
Huge article there. And if you're not a fan of subscription-based stuff, you can just buy the article as a one-time purchase if you want. Have permanent access to it, and you don't have to sign up for the monthly stuff. But
we have not dove into Metafy or anything. I've had a couple of people message me like, hey, do you guys have like a Metafy on your guys' Annie that you guys were playing at these events? And I was like, no, but we have a Patreon article that we put out. So check that out. It's cool. Hopefully you like it. And if you like that kind of content, let us know, because we'd love to put more content your way and make everything feel great. If you guys are going to spend money on content, we want it to be top tier. So thank you guys again, and we'll catch you next week.
Peace.